Hey guys, how are you? We are back. It is Monday. Y'all know I love Mondays. Love Mondays. Mondays. Hope you get so happy about Mondays, but I'm happy because I made it through last week to make it to another week. So that means God have not took me home, even though I wouldn't been mad about it. But at the end of the day, I am so excited. As we know, I am Belize Spivey, the STD Life Coach. I help African American women living with herpes overcome the stigma. I help men too, and I help other coaches too if you resonate with me. This video is sponsored by the Life Church, which is my church. I am so excited. My church, Pastor Chaz and First Lady Charity. They are here in Forest Park area, 964 Main Street, Forest Park. Church starts at 12. So if you want to come worship with us, I would love to have you come worship with me. They are the sponsors of the Overcoming Gathering Tour in Atlanta. Y'all know Atlanta is coming up February 22nd and 23rd. You do not want to miss this like jam-packed, informational, jam-packed fun, meeting other people who living with it too, or simply people who just want to know as much as you know. Like I tell you guys, anybody's invited. You do not have to have the virus to have it, but I want you guys, when you do come out, if you don't, to just be supportive, get the information, and take this information back to your communities so you can support whoever you know who may have the virus, or simply protect yourself from even getting the virus. So with that being said, guys, let's get into this video. This video say no sex for a whole year. I'm sure you're thinking like, what? Yeah, stay tuned. Right, guys, so we're back. The video of this week, or of this Monday, is no sex for a whole year. So you're thinking like, Belize, what are you talking about? Are you talking just in general? Because I know how your vlogs go. Are you talking about yourself? Are you just talking about what you talking about? I want to tell you my story, guys. Last year, it's not even was it last year? Yeah, last year, I decided I wanted to be celibate. Okay, I'm about to really go into this. Y'all know me, I'm a transparent person, so I'm about to tell the whole absolute whole truth. Okay, so my whole thing last year, I ended up having sex with this guy in the beginning of the year. I had sex with him in January. As we know, we just came out of January. So I've been a whole year. I have not had any intercourse, period. No oral sex, no nothing. No sex, period. Okay, I have not had sex with anybody, period. Okay, he was the last person I had sex with. In that time, slowly after that, I started dating. Okay, I talked to this one guy. I let him know I was celibate right off the bat. Before I even got to that point, I was still struggling. Okay, as y'all know, I am a Christian. I always struggle with this celibacy thing. I'm like, I know the words say be celibate, but I've been having sex since I was 13. This is difficult. It feels good. Like, I don't want to give it up. What if he my husband? You know, what if he my fiance? But he my boyfriend. We've been together for 3 years. Like, why not? Like, why not? I understand now. And I'm going to share that with y'all, my revelation as I went over, or my aha moment as I realized why it was so important. But after I started messing with him, I even talked to him while we were, like, literally me and this guy was talking out of my marriage. So I ended up leaving my husband in May, and I met this dude in May, okay? But we didn't start talking to each other until July. I had to let him know everything, so we talked all the way through the year. We ended up having sex for our first time in, I think, September. I think it was September. Yeah, it was in September. But we didn't even kiss each other until, like, July. No. We didn't kiss each other until that night that we had sex. It's crazy. But we did not have sex. So we met each other in July. We had seen each other a couple of times. No, yeah, we met each other. Like, we started talking again in July. But we did not have sex until September. We talked on the phone a lot. We seen each other, went on a couple of dates. But we did not have sex until September, okay? We kind of fell out a little bit. Didn't talk to each other. Kind of like rekindled each other again back. Like, we had sex in the beginning of September. And then go into October. Was it in October? I think I stopped talking to him in August. Rekindled in September. No, it was in October. It was like the end of September going into October that we had sex. Okay, because I ended up going to New Orleans for my Overcoming Gathering tour. Overcoming Gathering conference. It was like a girls' trip. So we still talked through that. We fell off again, like, in November. Went back into December. We rekindled again, and then we took each other into the new year, and we ended up having sex in the new year. Okay, but after that, I was just like, I'm done whatever, this is not going anywhere. I talked to him a couple of times in January, but he was going through some stuff himself. And I was just like, he's not ready. It's so many things about him that I don't like. It's things about myself I don't like. And I just don't feel like he's going to be the person who, number one, helped me get to where I want to be and where I am now. I don't want nobody to like me here. So I stopped talking to him completely. I ended up meeting another guy. Met another guy. I'm sorry, y'all. This thing is under my seat. So I met another guy come March. Was it March? I think it was March, April. Okay, I met another guy. Really cool guy, whatever. We hit it off, but he was struggling. By then, in that between space of having sex with that guy and meeting him in March, God was like beating me across the head. Belize, stop having sex. Belize, stop having sex. It ain't worth it. Stop having sex. I'm like, but God, but the desire, it feels good though, but why? He was like, but stop. You need to stop. It's my word. You need to stop. You need to wait into marriage. And I was like, but you know, I tried to do that with my ex-husband, and he said it didn't make sense. Literally, my ex-husband said, well, if you gonna be my wife, it don't make sense. So I was like, you know, that was a red flag. Anyway, if you don't want to follow the word, it's a red flag. And I was convicted heavily to stop having sex with him, but he would not let me stop having sex with him. That's crazy, but he would get angry. He would get so angry. Even when we went through counseling, our counselor told us we should not have been having sex, and I was down for that. I was like, we're gonna do what we need to do, and then he kind of like pushed the issue, and I ended up starting having sex with him, even through our counseling when our counselor told us not to. So if anybody know the word, it say listen to good counsel, and clearly he did not want to listen to good counsel. We wanted to live out the flesh, and I kind of followed it, because at the end of the day I was like, well, he's gonna be my husband, you know, I'm gonna follow my husband. But I damn near was following him into hell, because that was against the word of God, period. But I struggled with it for so long. So in that time, God was just beating me across the head. Please stop. So in that process, kind of backtrack. He was beating me across the head even after I had sex with that guy the first time. And he was like, you need to stop having sex. So me and him had like a heart to heart. And I was like, if I wanted to stop having sex, would you be cool with it? He was like, that's fine. It ain't no big deal to me. You know, he was like, I respect you. If that's not what you want to do, I'm with it. So God was like, why you need to get approval from somebody else? I will make sure you meet anybody who want to be with you. You're going to have to be celibate and be on the same accord with you. So stop trying to find a reason to want to do this. Do it because I told you to do it. So after that, I end up, like I said, messing around and having sex with him again. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Like I said, in that time, he would beat me across the head, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to stop having sex. It's going to be hard, but God, I need your help. I need your help, like, tremendously, because I'm going to be so transparent with you guys. I struggled. Even if I wasn't having sex, masturbation was hard. Like, it was on and popping with myself. Okay, on and popping. I was getting myself in. Like, and thank God I was able to break pornography off of me last year. It was a struggle. Oh my God, it was so hard, but I had grace of God. I had to literally not watch it. I had to find myself doing other things. I had to learn why I even got addicted to it in the first place. And I learned my addiction was because somebody introduced it to me at a very young age. And then, you know, the young child's head, they don't understand. They see stuff and it's exciting and they're like, oh my God, what is that? And I literally still had a little kid's mind, just so amazed about what's going on. And then masturbation got added to it. So even while I was married, I would have sex with my husband and still have to masturbate because it was not enough for me, because I was addicted to me pleasing myself. So that was bad, and I told myself even before I got into that marriage, I wanted to end that, because I knew that was going to affect my marriage later, because I wasn't enjoying the intimacy with my husband at all. I was just trying to get off because that's what I was used to. And I knew how to do it best for myself, even though I'm not saying it wasn't good. But at the end of the day, I was missing the intimacy that came with marriage. I was missing it completely because I didn't know what it was. I had a perversion of what intimacy was. I thought intimacy was getting it off real good and it was good and that's it. No, intimacy is so much different. It's love, it's affection, it's care, it's growth, it's so many other things. It's, you know, it's so many things that you don't learn in masturbation and pornography can kind of really like sway your brain of what God way is. Okay, easily. We see it on TV all day. People tell you it's okay, all this stuff like that. And look, I'm not here to argue with you about it. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm telling you my story and what I had to deal with. Whatever you need to do and whatever you need to change is between you and your God, not me and mine. Because this is my conversation with him. He had dealt with me about this. But the one thing I will say, he is not playing with y'all pertaining to having sex before marriage. Stop it. I'm going to be so transparent. And I feel like I have the right to say something to you because I've been doing it for so long. I don't care if you're 50. I don't care if you're 60. I don't care if you just started. Stop it, because it's going to open so many doors to so much crap that you cannot handle. I'm going to be honest. It's going to open doors to stuff you cannot handle. You still wonder why you worry about Tyrone or Keisha and it been way gone. It's because you literally married another person. If anybody have read the word, like literally the word said, literally they were married. They were married because they had sex. And they ended up having a kid. They weren't married because they did a ceremony. They were married because they got in front of a pastor. They weren't married because they signed papers. They got married because they had sex with each other. And that's why God said wait into marriage, because marriage, like sex, solidified that you were married. So my whole thing is you're married to a bunch of folks and you wonder why you can't get over them. Quote unquote soul ties. That's what we hear these days. So my whole thing, I learned that. So in this whole year, I have not had sex. So I met the other guy. Before I met this other guy, I had made a decision. I'm not having sex. No go. I'm out. They're going to have to understand I'm good, you know. And I was still struggling with masturbation at that time. I was not watching pornography, but I was still struggling with the masturbation part, okay? So I was like, okay, God, look, this is hard. You're going to have to work with me here. Like right now, this is my struggle. I gave that part up, but you're going to have to work with me here. So he still worked with me. He graced me. He graced me. He graced me in this area. Okay, so I met this guy. So I met a guy, real good guy, you know, knew the word of God, things like that, but he struggled with sex. He made it clear out to me, you know, I ain't trying to have no relationship. You know, I'm still out here doing my own thing. He started talking about, yeah, I'm good. I know I'm good at what I do. I said, now this is the enemy. It's not him. It's the enemy trying to tempt me to jump on that thing, okay? So, and I told him, I said, see, if you met me a week ago, we would have had sex. But since you meet the new me, the one who made a decision, you ain't getting none from me. You gonna have to marry me, bro. And he made it clear, like, I ain't looking for nothing serious. After that, he kind of like parted ways. He kind of stopped talking to me, whatever. And it hurt my feelings a little bit. And that was just my feelings being hurt. It didn't have nothing to do with him. And I could truly say that today. That man kept it so real with me. And as women, we need to start listening. We don't listen enough. And we get mad and somebody, oh my God, he led me on. No, he didn't. You led yourself on, assuming what you thought you can change. Okay? So at the end of the day, my feelings were hurt about the whole situation. Like, so God, why did you send him? Blah, blah, blah. He seemed like this great guy. But God said, honestly, I learned that it was a test. He said, I want to see if you were for real about what you said to me. I want to know if your commitment was real, or were you going to just fall back into it because that's what you were used to. But I didn't. I passed the test. Woo! Didn't kiss the dude, didn't do anything. We just hugged each other, hugged each other. We spent a lot of time with each other. I even was by myself with him, and it was so hard. And I'm going to be transparent. This is what happened. Okay, so we was at the house. He played football. He was a really good football player. He played semi-pro. Really good guy. I hope to God that he make it to the pros, or even like for real, pros. So hopefully, God willing, that if his heart is right. Okay, but anyway. He played that day. He had won. He did real good. He had scored, I think, 2 or 3 touchdowns. I'm like, all right, you better. Type thing. I'm out there with signs. I mean, I'm out there hard for him, okay? So, after the game, we got something to eat, and we spent time at the house. So we talking, whatever. We went downstairs, started watching highlights, because he's a really big athlete. Like, he loved, CNN. So like we was literally watching that, and I didn't have a problem. He's like, oh man, I'm being selfish, I like watching this. So we watching a movie. So he was sitting next to me, sexy as he is at that moment. I was just looking at him like, nah. And he looked at me. He didn't say nothing. So then he moved from where he was, because we was on 2 separate couches, and moved on the other side, and he had a blanket. So I'm like, you got another blanket? He like, yeah. So I had my blanket on me. He had his blanket on him. And then like all of a sudden he tried to like grab on me. I said, oh! Bruh, you bet stumble like you get that. I'm trying to stay delivered. Okay? And he was like, oh, my fault, you know, da-da-da-da-da. So he got on the other side of the couch, and I kind of like pulled my feet up, and I put the blanket on him. He was like, oh, I'm getting tired, all this stuff like that, you know, and he's like on this side, like trying to fall asleep or whatever. So I was like, it's all right. I'm about to go. It's time for me to go home anyway. So I got in the car and I left. I said, oh, yes, God, I passed again. Yes, Lord, I passed again. It was hard because he was sexy. But I was like, no, it's not worth it. And he tried me. I learned this from another young man, very gentleman. He was like, dude's gonna try you. If he find you attractive, he gonna see how far he can go. And he learned he couldn't do that. And I tell y'all, after I kind of like X'd him, literally he sent me this long two-page text message, and he text fast saying, Belize, I know you really like me, but I ain't the right person for you. You know, I got some problems, and I feel like, you know, I can rub those things out of you. I can be persuasive, basically I can be manipulative, and I can put you in a situation that you don't need to be in. You're a really good woman, and I don't want you to go through that. After that, we really didn't talk. Hurt my feelings, but we talked a little bit after that. His birthday came up. I got him something for his birthday. Like I said, we were still cool, but it was nothing serious. And after his birthday, he had another football game. I told him I was going to come to the football. Pissed me off because I went all the way to this football game. That girl was not playing that time. So I was pissed. I was crying because I spent all this money trying to go support him and stuff like that. I said, but that was my fault. I should not did it. I should not did it, but I was trying to keep my word. And I'm a person who try to keep my word, but I learned when it's a no, it's a no. And if a person show you who they are, just don't even try to keep any of your commitments to those people. Just shut it down and say, I'm done. But that's something I was just too loyal, okay? So that hurt my feelings. And I was like, I'm done with them. Girl, let me tell you, later on, I seen him. I did not talk to him no more. I deleted his number. I blocked him. I was like, I'm done. Later on, I seen him at church because I met him at church. So I seen him at church a couple of times. I still spoke. I was not rude. I'm not a nasty person. But I was like, I'm done with you. And then later on, I seen him with a new chick. And she's pregnant. So I was like, God, you saved my soul. I cannot have another virgin right now without a husband. Okay, so I was like, you know what? Thank you, God. You knew what he was up to. You knew what his destiny was prior. And if I stayed with him, I would have messed around and been the one pregnant by him. And he's not ready to have a child. He was not in a place or mindset to take care of anybody because he was struggling to take care of himself. Okay, so I was like, oh, dodged not a bullet. In the process of that, I met another dude, which he was his friend. We about to tell the whole truth, okay? He tried to swoop in too. That nigga tried to swoop in. He was like, oh, I respect what you do. I'm celibate too. Da-da-da-da-da. Not gonna lie, the nigga tried me a couple of times too. Whipping his penis inside up in front of me. Had me holding, like putting it, my hands down there. All this stuff. One night we were spending time together. He tried it. Okay? He tried it. And absolutely not. Absolute flags on the play. Green, nope, out. Get up out of here. After that, guys, I was like, I don't know about that. And he was like, I don't know if I want to, you got to wait all the way to marriage, all this stuff. I was like, yep, you got to wait all the way to marriage. So he wasn't telling the whole truth. He started to show me his true colors too. And I'm not in a relationship with him either. So I was like, I'm done. I'm gone. Shut him out. Blocked him. All that stuff. My block game strong. So I was done. So God was truly let me know and testing me time back to back to see how strong I was and to see that you really serious. Now that I'm not talking to anybody, I don't cut people off, I'm not focused on that, I'm focused on myself. God said, see, you would have got so caught up in them that you wouldn't even be where you are today. Where I am today is, oh my God, amazing. Okay, I would have missed this opportunity because I've been stuck under their booties, helping them trying to get their lives together and not focusing on myself. I'm not saying that's always the case, but when that person is the wrong person for you, you will get sidetracked. He will or she will be a distraction, and you will miss out on blessings because you with somebody who ain't worth your time. They just not worth your time at this given moment. Not saying that person not for you later, but don't waste your time if they slowing you down. If they don't have their stuff together and they're not working on themselves, why are you working on them? I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense. Focus on yourself. Y'all should come together, getting yourselves together, not somebody have to always come in and help them. Just being honest. But anyway, so that happened. Been focused on myself ever since, and literally God literally opened my eyes to see, like, Belize, you have not had sex in a whole year. And guys, that is so big for me because I had never ever since I've been 13 years old, have never not had sex year after year after year after year after year. Literally. I can't believe it. I was like, wow. Wow. From that time, and which is the beginning of the year, I have passed a whole year. No sex at all. Y'all. None. Now, let's talk about this masturbation thing. Now, that, I just kicked that to the curb. Literally, I just kicked that to the curb. I just kept struggling with it. And I was like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, I was like, I'm in the masturbation talking to God. Like, God, I don't want to do this no more. After a while, it didn't even feel good no more. After a while, I was like, this is for what? Like, I want something more. I don't just want myself. I want someone that we can really commune and enjoy this thing. I don't have enough sex in my life. I will be okay. Literally, I had messed around and bought a toy and everything. And I ain't against anybody who got toys. But I bought a toy and all this stuff like that because I started to get back into all of this stuff. Being around the wrong people, doing stupid junk. But at the end of the day, I did that, being easily influenced, and should have just listened to my mind and didn't do it. But I did it anyway, and I used it a couple of times, and I was just like, this is not doing me nothing. I was like, this is a waste of my time. I'm throwing it away. So, literally, in January, I threw it away. I threw everything away. I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I think about in January, I messed around and I masturbated again, and I was like, this is not even worth it. This is not worth it. I could have been doing a live. I could have been doing some posts. I could have been writing my book. I could have been reading my Bible. I could have been doing something way more productive for these 10 minutes. I could have been doing something else. Like, that was a waste of time. I went to sleep, but it was a waste of my time. So, in that point, I have not done anything since then. Yes, that was in January. But I was just like, I don't have a desire to even want to do any of that. I want to wait on it. And my whole thing, in the midst of my waiting, I am working my butt off. My purpose is making heck of room for me at this moment. And my energy is so in that. I take that sexual energy and I just put it into work, and I put it in these videos, and I put it in serving you guys and doing whatever God wants me to do. And when it's time for me to have sex again, great, I will. But honestly, I have had enough to last me a lifetime. And for my individuals who have been celibate for a long period of time, you're probably like, well, you can't tell me. I've been in this game longer than you. I kind of can tell you something. My question is, are you really doing this for the right reason? A lot of people who are celibate are doing it thinking that I'm celibate and God's going to give me a husband. He is not. It doesn't work like that. You're trying to barter with him. You're trying to make a deal. You don't make deals with guys. You do what he tell you to do. It's a command. And since it's a command, you do it. If you say you are of God, you do the command and not expect anything out of it. You do what he tell you to do. And if it's meant for you to have a husband, you will get that. We all know he give you the desires of your heart. But is your heart right to get a husband? And if you think sex is just about getting, if you think that is all that a marriage is about, you are fooling yourself, and your marriage is not going to work. I'm being transparent. It happened to me. And every woman that I talk to learn marriage is so much bigger than sex. You'll get in your marriage, and sometimes sex may not be the focus because y'all are so busy doing what y'all need to do, taking care of the kids, trying to do what y'all need to do. Not saying that it's any problems. Y'all just get caught up in each other, get caught up in things. And you got to start making time for stuff because you get really, really busy. Okay? So I don't want y'all to sit here and think, oh, we're going to be having sex all the time. Look. Yes, you can have sex, but you got to make time for it. You have to make time. And if you two are both in purpose, you really got to make time for it because it's so much going on. You're doing so much for God. So much stuff going on that you're just really busy. And you have to make time for stuff. So I don't want y'all to get caught up like, not me, not me. But my whole thing is, okay, if you keep on saying not me, not me, are you just getting into your relationships for sex? Like, life is bigger than sex, y'all. I really want us to get out of this. And I feel like I got the right to say that to you because I've been doing it longer than many. It's so much bigger. And half of the time you're having sex with the wrong people who wasting your time, don't respect you, don't love you, don't know your name, don't care if you die today or tomorrow, and ain't trying to please you. It's a waste of your time. Stop wasting your time. Do something else. Go read a book. Go figure out what you want to do in your life. Because I meet so many women. I'm ready to have sex, but she's mentally broken. I'm ready to have sex, but she's emotionally broken. I want to have sex, but I can't get over my ex. What you trying to have sex with somebody else and you ain't even over the last one? You think about him while you having sex with this one. I'm telling you the whole truth. Been there, done that. Okay? So, I really wanted to come on here to just tell y'all, like, please, if you are a Christian, you need to talk to God. You need to repent. because he already forgave you, and you need to ask him to help you. Literally. And I'm only telling y'all because this was a struggle for 29 years. Well, not even full 29 years. I started having sex at 13. Okay, from 13 to 29. That's how long I've been struggling with this. Okay? Okay? I don't feel like doing no math. Somebody else can do it. But I've been struggling with it that long. I just got it. You don't have to take that long. I didn't want to submit to God. I did not want to submit that part of my life. I did not want to. And since you don't want to, then you're still going to have struggles in every other areas of your life because you still are being disobedient. Guys, sex is not that serious. And stop letting people press you into sex, please. If that's all he want, that's all he want. If he really like you, he willing to wait on it. It ain't that serious. You'll find out. Take sex off the table. You'll learn if you like them or not. Truthfully, you ain't going to like half of the people you talk to because they ain't got nothing to offer but some good stuff. That's it. And you can get that and you can teach that. I'm sorry. You can teach anybody how to please you. I'm being honest. It's teachable. Just saying. So, with that being said, guys, I love y'all. I hope this helps somebody, especially my brothers and sisters in Christ. I hope this helped you guys to know that we got to do what God tells us to do. We cannot get so caught up in what everybody else is doing and you start doing that, but then you're suffering within your spiritual life because now you're like, I can't pray. I can't ask God for stuff. I can't do this. I can't do that because I keep doing this. He still loves you. But my whole thing, get yourself together so you won't feel that guilt. You won't feel that shame. Get rid of it. Just get rid of the sin so you won't have to continue to deal with the guilt and the shame and the emotions behind it. Just get rid of it and he will help you get rid of it. That's the good part. He will help you. It ain't like you got to do it on your own. I did not do that on my own. Guys, I tried to do it on my own and I failed time after time after time after time after time. But soon as I asked him I got him involved. Even in the act, I got him involved. Even when I was doing what I was doing, I asked him, God, please help me. I'm struggling. And some people are like, I don't want him to be in my mess. You need to get him in your mess. That's why you still in your mess. Get him in your mess. Even when you doing it, even when you got your mouth on it, even when he in it. God help me. I don't know how to get out of this. And he will make a way of escape. Okay? So I love you guys. Make sure you get your ticket for the Overcoming Gathering Conference. Atlanta, February 2nd, 23rd. Private session, educational piece. Make sure you get your tickets. I cannot wait to see you guys. My sponsor is the Life Church, my dear, 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 dear church. My pastor, Pastor Chaz, and First Lady Charity Estelle. So I love them. Come out to our church at 964 Main Street, Forest Park at 12 on Sundays. Come dance, because we be like, We be praising. Y'all probably think we crazy, but you'll see why my life look like it do, because I be the one running around church or skipping and hopping. That's me. I be yelling and screaming. But my life is free. I am delivered, set free, because of this amazing man. Literally, I've been in that ministry for a year, and my life has changed in a year. In a year, I have not had sex. So that's huge to me. I can cry, but that's huge to me. Literally, that's huge to me that I finally got under a ministry that I stopped doing the same sins. So, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I try my best not to cry. So, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And see y'all soon.